Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a question that really trips up a lot of nonprofit leaders. Do you actually need to register to fundraise in Nevada? The rules there have some pretty unique twists, so let's unpack them together.
Just so you know, the information we're covering today comes straight from the experts at Ironwood Registrations. It's all part of their multi-state fundraising compliance series, which is really designed to make these complex regulatory topics super clear and practical.
Okay, let's just dive right in. The short answer is if your nonprofit plans to ask for donations from anyone, and I mean anyone, in Nevada, you generally need to register with the state before you even start asking.
So, you might be wondering, why do states like Nevada even have these rules? Well, it's all about maintaining public trust. These regulations are there to promote transparency and protect donors, which in the long run helps legitimate charities, like yours, build credibility with supporters. And the agency in charge of all this? That would be the Nevada Secretary of State, and more specifically, its Commercial Recordings Division. They're basically the official record keepers for any organization that wants to fundraise in the state. So this leads us to the most crucial question. Who actually has to do this? This is where a lot of organizations get it wrong, because it's not just about where your office is located. It's all about where your donors are. The requirement kicks in whether you're based in Las Vegas and fundraising locally, or you're an out-of-state organization that's asking Nevadans for support online. The key principle here is super simple. If your fundraising campaign reaches into the state, the rule almost certainly applies to you. And you should know when the state uses the word solicitation, they define it very, very broadly. We're talking about your website's donate button, your email newsletters, social media campaigns, direct mail, phone calls, fundraising events, you name it. If you're putting out an ask for a contribution, you are almost definitely soliciting. Now, this is where Nevada gets really interesting. Its approach to filing fees and exemptions is different from most other states, and really understanding this nuance can save you a whole lot of time and money. Okay, so Nevada draws a really hard line between organizations that are soliciting only versus those doing business. For instance, if your California-based nonprofit is only fundraising online from Nevada residents, there's actually no state filing fee for the charitable registration. That's right, zero. But if you have an office or staff or any other physical presence there, you're considered doing business, and then you'll have to file additional corporate documents and pay those fees. It's a huge factor in both your cost and complexity. Now, not every single organization needs to register. The state has carved out several exemptions. For example, religious organizations and government entities are automatically exempt. Others might include really small-scale efforts, like if you're only soliciting from 14 or fewer people a year, or a specific appeal for an individual in need. But, and this is a critical point, for most of these exemptions, you can't just assume you have one. You have to actively file an exemption from charitable registration statement with the state every single year to maintain that status. It's an active process you really can't afford to forget. Okay, so once you're registered, the work isn't quite over. Let's talk about the annual renewal process, because staying compliant is absolutely key, and Nevada is famously strict about its deadlines. Your renewal is due every year on the last day of the month you originally filed in, so let's say your first registration was on May 10th. Your renewal is then due by May 31st every year after that. It's a really consistent date, so it's definitely worth putting a recurring reminder on your calendar. And Nevada uses what's called a receipt-based deadline, which is crucial to understand. It means your filing has to be physically in their hands by the due date. A postmark from that day is not going to save you. This is one of those small details that trips up a lot of otherwise compliant organizations, so planning ahead is just essential. And just to underscore how serious the state is about this deadline, extensions are not permitted. Period. There are no exceptions. If your filing is late, it's late. And that can lead to financial penalties and even a loss of your good standing. All right, let's try and pull all of this together into a few practical takeaways to help you maintain your compliance in Nevada without any headaches. So here's some good news for you. Unlike a lot of other states, Nevada doesn't require a separate, detailed financial report with your charitable filing. And if you're only soliciting, you don't need to maintain a registered agent in the state, which honestly simplifies things quite a bit. So if you only remember 3 things from our time today, please make it these. First, track that renewal date like a hawk. Second, if you claim an exemption, remember you have to file for it every year. And third, always make sure your filing is received on time, not just sent. Here's the final thought I want to leave you with.
Nevada's unique combination of rules, from its no-fee structure for soliciting-only organizations to its super rigid, no-extensions deadline, really makes it an outlier. Never, ever assume it works like other states. A careful check of your obligations here can prevent a major compliance crisis down the road. Because of all these unique requirements, many nonprofits find it really helpful to have an expert guide. If your organization needs a hand managing charitable registrations in Nevada, or, frankly, across the country, Ironwood Registrations specializes in keeping organizations compliant. You can learn more at their website, ironwoodregistrations.com.